Fuck, dude, it's almost like we started Vlogmas before December. Welcome to the vlog. It's already like noon o'clock, but we're putting ice in the Yeti. We gotta go pick up the dog. I dropped him off at the dog groomer this morning. As you become an adult, there's just so many fucking nonsensical things that you do. Like cutting your dog's hair, bro. Heather is worried that the dog can't see, but like he can see. So I don't understand why she thinks he can't. This element, the lemonade element, is the GOAT. If you haven't tried it yet, damn, you gotta try it. You're gonna see a lot of this reverse osmosis thing on this YouTube channel because that's the only way basically that we consume water is from this. Why? Because the government is trying to poison you with toxins and heavy metals and fucking chlorine and fluoride in your water. And if you don't believe that shit, you are fucking naive, bro. Now, I don't believe that I'm always gonna have some clever shit to tell you guys on this vlog, but today, I guess we can make this, maybe this vlog will turn out to be like prepper type shit, because like, your boy is kind of on that train. So let me explain that.
And reverse it.
Testers?
Back up and then reverse it. I reversed it.
We are currently at a state park again in the snowstorm. These are the conditions that hopefully will be in for the ultra marathon that I'm doing in February, the 12-hour ultra marathon. That's what we're doing, 12 hours of running. So it's running, it's cold as shit. Let's see how this goes. We definitely went out too hot for this run. It's only supposed to be a 6 to 7 RPE. We went way too hot in the beginning, but it's a consequence of feeling good, I guess. When I was 15, my aunt introduced me to this guy named Alex Jones and told me to read a book called Behold a Pale Horse. I haven't read that book yet. I own it, but I'm into the personal development books way more than I am anything else. But that kind of started my journey in terms of like conspiracies or not trusting the government and like self-reliance and sufficiency. How do you feel about the government and our health as a practicing PA in hospital that's leaving in a month?
I think the government wants us to stay sick.
Why?
Because they make a lot of money in health insurance.
Can you speak to your experience with that in the hospital?
Being requested to bill higher, meaning a higher ticket, like higher levels of billing equals more money for the hospital. They charge students, so PA and nurse practitioner students, I don't know about like MD or DO students, like med school students, but they charge PA students for sure to do their rotations with us. The hospital system charges them, but we don't get paid, so. Now, whether Heather would like to believe this or not, but I kind of red pilled her on the topic of like the health institutions and the government when we first started dating. I remember we got into a little tiff about it, and she thought that I was talking about like her career as a whole and like the intentions of her career. But what I was talking about and what this video is about is like the intentionality of how the health system has been to make it a cash flow system rather than a healthcare system. Gee, it's so freaking windy and cold now. I love it. It's amazing. We're out walking the dog. This is not gonna be a video on all the government conspiracies ever made, but after being told to look up Alex Jones and all the rabbit holes that I went into, big portion of what I really fell into, because it was part of what I was passionate at the time, was the health stuff. To me, it's interesting to have these conversations with people who continuously deny that the government doesn't have an incentive to keep us sick, fat, broke, dumb, because it's not within their best interest to have sick people. But really, when you follow the money and you look at the way pharmaceuticals are studied, the way that food is studied, the way that food is mass produced, things of these nature, and how the medical system actually works in the entirety when it comes to hospital, it's pretty easy to draw a conclusion to they want people to be sick, they want them to be chronically ill. And when you look at chronic illness rates and how they've gone up over time in conjunction with adding certain things to foods, with consumer habits, man, it's a pretty hard sell to tell me that all these randomized controlled trials, these RCTs and stuff that are done on these foods show that they are safe, really has best practices in mind. And okay, so the thing that drives me the most nuts is when people completely negate or they deny that there's any sort of relevance to alternative practices, right? To make a long story short, I went through chronic illness. I had my chronic illness journey. A lot of these people who say that the lack of evidence is evidence of lack have never actually taken the steps to do elimination diet or go to extremes and take things out of their diet and try all these different things. And anecdata is super important and shouldn't be looked over. That goes the same for anything in terms of government conspiracies or anything, or trying to figure out who has your best interests at heart or not. When you look at the data that's available, it can be very misleading. And so my only suggestion in this video is that you become self-sufficient, you become well-read on topics that are important to you, because at some point that's gonna be very important. If not now, later, and if not in an emergency situation, it's at least nice to know that you can take care of yourself if anything were to happen. Now, I don't go to doctors for anything, and this isn't just about doctors in the health system, if you catch my drift. I don't go to doctors for anything. I do everything alternative medicine wise, but there are some good things obviously about government institutions and the government. You will catch me in a hospital if I have some emergency happen, for sure. Again, I just urge everybody to be prepared, because you're never gonna regret being prepared or having some sort of knowledge or trying alternative things. But what you will regret is if you fall super sick, you become super broke, or if you're not prepared for an emergency situation. That's my opinion. Anyway, day 3 in the books. I hope this made sense. Like, comment, subscribe.